Hey ladies, I am actually at my kids' school. We ended up doing a 3-day transfer because at 3 days they could tell which embryos were which ones were the best already. So they said it's best to get them in me rather than keep on growing them in the lab. So last time I did a 5-day transfer. This time I did a 3-day transfer. And at 3 days on Monday, all 9 embryos were still growing. I still had I had 5 that were B and 4 that were a B minus. Last time I had one was an A and the other one was a B. The other one was a B that I had transferred. And I believe the 2 that we had frozen were both Bs. I have been wanting to update since Monday. But we are replacing the roof at our house, and so you don't want me to do a video right now at my house. So I decided today to bring my iPad with me. I have to sit at the kids' school for 30 minutes until they get out of school. So I decided to bring my iPad with me and just record the videos here. My doctor called me on Sunday, and I was thinking that I was going to have a 5-day transfer, because that was just my thought. But he called me Sunday and said that the embryos all looked still good, but he knew which ones were the best 2. Now, if I got there on Monday, he said, and they weren't, for some reason, able to determine which ones were the best, then he would have put it off until Wednesday. Stuff's flying out of the... But when I got there, the 2 that he thought were the best ones were still the best ones. And so we did my first transfer that I did and my frozen transfer. I drank, the first time I drank like 3 of these because they told me to make my bladder really full. So I drank 3 of those. I went into my transfer and he said, your bladder's too full, I need you to go empty it. Then I came back, he said, your bladder's too full. Anyways, that happened 4 times. And then for my frozen cycle, I only did 1 of these, and I started drinking right as soon as I left my house, and I have like an hour and a half, 45-minute drive, and so I just kind of paced myself and drank it while we were on our way there, and it was still too full, so I had to empty it 2 times in order for him to be able to manipulate everything the way he needed to, I guess. And this time I went in, and we were like 10 minutes away from my RE's office, and I just took this, and I just drank 1 of these just 10 minutes before I got there, and everything worked perfectly. They said that was the smoothest transfer for me that they had ever done, and that was one of their smoothest transfers that they had done. So that was good. Last 2 times I did transfers also, and I don't know, this doesn't have anything to do with anything probably, but whenever they shoot the embryos in, you can see a little bubble where the embryos are at. Well, this time, and he's like, this is kind of neat. He said it doesn't usually happen very often, but you could actually see both of the embryos. There was a bubble around both of them, so there was 2 little bubbles of them. And then we came home, and I laid around for the first 24 hours until, all day Monday I laid, and then all day Tuesday my husband stayed off of work, and I just laid around the house pretty much all day, didn't really do anything. He took care of everything. I was having a lot of cramping, and I think that was still just like my ovaries, but having a lot of cramping. And then even yesterday I was still having cramping, and I was so nauseated yesterday. From the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, I think I was pretty nauseated. And I have never, with any of my pregnancies, had morning sickness. All 4 pregnancies, never once had morning sickness. And I know that it's not me pregnant because the embryo was only at 4 days. It hadn't even implanted. It wasn't even a blastocyst and hatched or anything yet. So I know that it's just the progesterone that I'm on. But today, this morning, I woke up and I'm kind of don't feel any symptoms this morning. So maybe the progesterone is getting regulated or something. So that is where we're at. Now, yesterday would be 5-day blastocyst. And so they were going to start freezing what they could yesterday. They only will freeze the best. It has to meet a certain criteria for them to be able to freeze them. And so yesterday they would start freezing, and they'd said that they would even watch them up to day 6 to see if any more of them could catch up. My nurse called me. Well, my husband called me just a little bit ago, and then while I'm talking to him, I got a voicemail. And it was my nurse, and I guess her and my husband had called at the same time, and I missed her call, so I had to call her back, and I'm waiting for her to call me back. So, I'm still not sure what they were able to freeze. I'm thinking probably 2. I'm hoping that we had at least 2 to freeze. That's what happened last time. We ended up, when we were at day 5, we had 4 that were good blastocysts. Then we transferred 2 and froze 2. So, I guess we'll see. And if I find out before I get home to upload this video, I will just add in a little video at the end of this. But I go on the 11th, which is next Friday, for my blood test. And I've always tested early, peeing on a stick. And I found out, my first pregnancy, I found out at 5 days, post 5-day transfer, that I was pregnant. And I drove myself crazy with my frozen transfer, testing and testing and testing and testing, and keep getting negatives and negatives, and it just wears you down, and it makes you so depressed, and I don't think that's good for anyone. It could still be too early. So I honestly, I don't even really want to test. I'm just going to do my blood test, and I don't even feel like doing a home pregnancy test this time. It's a lot of stress over nothing. I can't control what the outcome is. Only God can. And so I leave it all in His hands, and there's nothing that I can do. So if I just worry myself sick and testing myself, then it just hurts me more. So I think I'm just not going to test at all this time. We'll see if that really happens. But I really don't have the urge or the want to even test. So we'll see how that goes. I hope everyone's doing good, and I will see you all soon. Okay, ladies, so my nurse finally got a hold of me again, and we have none that made it to freeze. And I'm really not upset about that, because I went into this knowing that this was going to be the last time that I was going to be doing this, and I can't say that I didn't do everything that I possibly could, and this is it. So whatever we have inside of me is what we will get. That's my update.